We're in Paris! This wasn't on our list of places to visit because we didn't think it was in our budget. And then we found $59 plane tickets from Tivat, Montenegro, and we said, why not? So we're going to do our thing and walk across Paris on this beautiful day and answer two really important questions. Number one, can we afford to live here? And number two, would we want to live here? We're starting our day at the Pantheon and we are hoping to end in Triomphe. There it is. Google says it is about a 3-hour walk, so that will give us plenty of time to share the history while we take a look at the factors that make a place livable for us foreigners. This is amazing. Are we there? Yay!
The Pantheon was commissioned by King Louis XV and he laid the first stone in 1764. It was built as a sanctuary for the patron saint of Paris, Saint Genevieve. It became the Pantheon during the French Revolution and now it houses the remains of illustrious French people.
While we walk to our next stop, we are going to talk about our first livability factor.
Public transportation here is incredible. They have planes, trains, metros, they have a tram system, a commuter rail system, they have buses, taxis, and Uber. And we've used almost all of those quite effectively. It's not that hard to figure out. Took us a little bit to figure out the ticket buying kiosk for the metro the first time, but after that it's a breeze. And if you don't feel like taking public transportation, Paris is one of the most walkable cities in the world. It's got nice wide flat sidewalks. The city is mostly flat. Neighborhoods like Montmartre are kind of hilly, but everywhere we've stayed so far has been pretty flat and easy to walk around. We are here in Jardin du Luxembourg, which is a beautiful park here in the center of Paris. It's known for its amenities. It's got ponds and gardens and fountains and lots of places to hang out. You can sit and enjoy a baguette and a glass of wine. There's even some cafes in this park. And you have this beautiful palace behind us and the view of the Eiffel Tower in the background.
Today is Saturday and it is a holiday, which is why there are a lot of people here. However, this park is so big, it still does not feel overly crowded.
Are we lost?
No, but I do need to check the map to make sure we don't get lost.
Now let's talk about safety. France ranks number 67 on the Global Peace Index, but we're in Paris. Paris is well known to have pickpockets, and I just read in the news that Eiffel Tower is one of the worst places in the world for pickpocketers. So, of course, as always, we've been extra guarded. Be careful with our stuff when we're in really crowded areas and on the metro, as we would any place in the world. Overall, we have felt safe here day and night, but we are watching where we're going. We're also making sure we know where we're going. We checked with our Airbnb host to see if there's any places that she recommended that we avoid, and we map out our route to make sure we don't end up being someplace unsafe, and that's what we recommend that you guys do as well. We are meandering through the Latin Quarter, which is one of the oldest areas in Paris, and it's called Latin Quarter because they used to teach the university students here in the language of Latin.
Notre-Dame is the most famous Gothic cathedral from the Middle Ages. The first stone was laid in 1163. There was a bread festival taking place during our visit, so there were a lot more people there. It's actually still closed following the fire in 2019, but it's supposed to reopen later this year.
One of the benefits of walking is that we see so much more than we would see if we were just driving around in a car. It is stunning to see all this incredible history and architecture.
Behind me here is the Pont Neuf bridge. It was commissioned to be built in 1578 by Henry IV. It's the oldest stone bridge here in Paris that crosses the river Seine, which is right here behind me. It was, at the time, the only bridge across the river that didn't have houses built on it.
One of the things I'm really surprised about is how quiet it is here for this major city. One of the reasons is because there's a lot of electric cars and buses, but it's just quieter. There's not a lot of music. People just aren't speaking really loudly. Even somehow the construction is quieter here, which is kind of blowing my mind because we're right next to where they're working on all the Olympic stuff. It is a lot different than our time in Ecuador and other parts of Latin America.
Amelia told me she wanted some French crepes, so I looked up online and found this place. It was right on our route, and Unlike a lot of the places here that close after 2:30 and don't open again until 7, this place is open and we were able to come in here and get some lunch.
So I got a savory French crepe with cheese and mushrooms, and I am very excited to eat some lunch so we can continue our trip. It's really good.
I was real original. I got the burger and French fries. When you're in France, you gotta have French fries, right?
We went grocery shopping a lot, and the prices were really good. It was very affordable, and there's a lot of variety. But the restaurants were a bit more expensive compared to other places we visited in Europe and in Latin America. However, we had a gourmet dinner in Paris, and it was still cheaper compared to a lunch at a chain restaurant we had in San Antonio. We made it to the Louvre. We actually bought tickets weeks ago, and we have already visited. The museum was amazing. It was awe-inspiring, a little overwhelming because parts were very crowded, but we had a wonderful time exploring. One of the cool things that we learned was that we were able to see the foundation, which was actually built as a fortress back in 1190.
Quality of life is actually really high here in Paris, and one of the reasons is because parks like this beautiful one that we're sitting in right now, you can just come and hang out in an afternoon and watch the birds and feel the breeze and just relax.
There is so much to do here. You can do what we love to do as well and go and explore different neighborhoods and enjoy the architecture. You can go to a museum. There's actually quite a few that are free. You could go to a concert. You could take an art class. You could take a wine and food pairing class. I could go on forever. JP won't stop me yet, so I'm going to keep going. You can go shopping. You should take some French lessons for sure. Learning how to speak French is fun and the language is gorgeous. There is so much to do. We did talk to a lot of people in English, especially in the tourist areas and the attractions. However, you're in France, so you should definitely learn some French. A lot of the signs were in French only, including the road signs, which could make it difficult and confusing if you plan on driving. Plus, when we took the train to where we are right now, all of the announcements on the train were in French only. Your quality of life is going to be so much better if you learn some French, and a great way to do that is with LingoPie, today's sponsor. I knew 0 words of French before I started using LingoPie, and let me tell you, I'm really glad I did because they have a lot of programming for us newbies out there. I started with the Fundamentals of French Basics series, which includes how to make the sounds, and I've been practicing a lot, and it becomes really fun and addictive. And I know in the video I said Louvre, but now I could say Louvre, Louvre. Their learning tools are super helpful. I love the ability to be able to click on a word and add it to my vocab list so I can go back and practice it. And we've also been watching shows in French and following along with the subtitles and the script. And it makes a big difference when you can hear the language spoken conversationally and be able to read it, to stop it and repeat a sentence so that you can really get to understand what is being said and how they're saying it. I'm very happy to report that once we arrived in Paris, I was able to read some signs, to actually understand some of the spoken language, and even have some basic conversations with some French people who were so helpful and patient with me. The French people are so nice. LingoPie also has a Netflix browser extension, and they're always adding new programming and features to help you stay motivated. And that's why it's one of our favorite ways to learn how to practice and speak Spanish, and now French. Click the link below to get 70% off the lifetime plan.
We are in Place Vendôme. This whole square area was built by King Louis XIV, but this column back here was built by Napoleon at his orders, and it's made out of the bronze from captured enemy cannons.
I read that the square was built as a symbol of power, but now it is a symbol of luxury, which you can plainly see by all the high-end stores and the Ritz.
There is the Arc de Triomphe behind us. That is our goal. But we still have to walk all the way over there first to the Eiffel Tower. This city is a lot bigger than it looks on the map.
This is where they did public executions during the French Revolution. I read that this is the largest square in Paris, but it's hard to tell because a lot of it is closed, I'm guessing, for Olympic preparations.
We started this walk at 1 p.m. It's now 6:45 p.m. It's taken us a bit longer than 3 hours. And unfortunately, the map says we still have 53 minutes left on this walk. I'm not sure I've got it in me, Amelia.
I know, I'm glad we found this bench so we could rest and in the shade.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the Triomphe is in my future today, but I'm gonna try.
Do it. I am in front of Hôtel de Invalides, which is the building, the hospital that was commissioned by Louis XIV to care for wounded and disabled and aging or retired soldiers. And now it's part of the bigger military complex here and museum, which is massive. France is known to have some of the best public and private healthcare in the world. It is very affordable and accessible. For example, a doctor visit costs only 25 euros.
We just walked by the Eiffel Tower. It's so impressive in person. It's even bigger than it looks when you see it in pictures and in television. There are just way too many people over there right now, though. We decided not to go in. It probably would take an hour or longer just to wait in the line to get a ticket. So we decided to come over here and enjoy the view from away from it, because that's the other thing, is that when you're inside it, you can't actually see it. Okay, Amelia, let's make the final push to the Arc de Triomphe. We're almost there.
Yeah, I think we have 30 minutes left.
No, not another 30.
We could do it.
Is this our car, Amelia? Is this our ride home?
Yeah, right.
Maybe this one. This is it. I like blue better anyway. All right, we're almost out of time, so we want to answer the two questions we posed at the beginning. The first is, can we afford to live here?
Well, I do think it is more affordable than I had expected, because food is a lot more affordable, like it is throughout in Europe. I found the prices to be very similar. Restaurants are a little bit more expensive. You do have the cost of public transportation, but that is not as expensive as I was expecting either. But the housing is a lot more expensive, so I'm gonna have to say it is out of our budget, JP.
Yeah, mainly just because of the housing. The housing is a lot more. It's like on par with what we were paying in Denver, which we left for a reason. And it's nowhere near what we could get in Montenegro, Albania, or Ecuador, or a lot of the other places in Latin America. It would be like 2 or 3 or 4 times more than that.
You definitely can find more affordable places, but they're going to be a lot smaller, and I don't really want to live in a studio full time.
Wouldn't need a car, so that would save us quite a bit of money, but we would be spending more on public transportation. I don't know. I don't think it's really in our budget.
And now for our second question, would we want to live here?
I gotta say, I would really, really enjoy living here. We've heard from a lot of our viewers who will live here or spend time here that the quality of life is really high, and we could see why. There's so much to do. There's so much history. The city is beautiful. It's actually really clean. We saw online from a lot of reviews that it's a dirty city. We have not experienced that. Maybe it's just all cleaned up and nice for the Olympics that are gonna be here in another month or two, but our time here has been super clean.
I think I would enjoy living here too, but I wouldn't want to live here long term because the city is a little bit too big for me. I would want to be in a smaller city, which is why we're going to explore more of France. So make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss those videos.
Yeah, nice little hint there, Amelia.
Thank you. All right, we better get moving.
Yeah, we got to get over to the Arc before we're too late.
We are almost there. We made it to Champs-Élysées, the world famous street for high-end shopping and regular shopping. And you know, I wouldn't mind doing a little shopping if you want to take a break, JP.
No, let's keep going.
There it is. Are you gonna make it?
I'm trying my best.
There's more stairs.
More stairs.
Are we at the top? Yay! We made it!
You see the Pantheon where we started.
I don't see it yet.
It's over there. The Arc de Triomphe is a great place to watch the sunset and see the Eiffel Tower at night. The lights come on after dusk, and the light show starts after dark at the top of every hour and lasts for 5 minutes. You can buy tickets in advance, and they cost 16 euros each. 9 years ago, I wasn't sure I was ever going to walk normally again, so walking almost 11 miles across the city and climbing 284 stairs to the terrace of the Arc did feel like a triumphant conclusion to our time in Paris. Just had an interesting bathroom experience here in Paris. It was unisex, first of all. You have to pay €1.50 to get in there. The kid in front of us didn't have a credit card to pay, so I paid for him, and he came out and he gave me this bottle of water. That was so nice.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah. It was nice that there was an attendant there to explain it to us, because as tourists had no idea how to use the bathroom.
We were just over at the famous shopping street, Champs-Élysées, and by the Arc de Triomphe, and it was packed with people. We walked 2 blocks off of that street, and it is a completely different experience and much calmer.
Is that too hot for you, Amelia?
I think I need to let it cool down for a minute. It smells so good.
I'm glad they have little stop-off spots here to rest for us slowpokes.
Yeah, our legs are tired, and it is kind of steamy in the staircase. It's a little narrow, winding staircase.
We're almost at the top, though.
It's so quiet here, I feel like I could have a conversation with JP in a whisper. Macaron et café. For moi. What do I want? I'm gonna eat the pink one.
Is it good?
It's so soft and not too sugary. It's delicate and sweet, and I love it. It's delicious. Food eats here.